This episode of the Coarse Grind Podcast has been brought to you by Central Sports and Graphics Incorporated, family-owned and operated screen printing and embroidery business located in a historic storefront on Old Berwick Road in the heart of Espy. They've been doing screen printing for over 20 years. They have high-quality product at a low price. Be sure to check them out. Central Sports and Graphics Incorporated, 570-784-1212. Now, on to the show.
Hi, this is David Viana, and you're listening to Shawn Rosler at the Coarse Grind Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is episode number 114 of the Coarse Grind Podcast. With you as always this evening, host, creator, Shawn Rosler. How the hell is everyone doing this evening? You know, with the holidays on the horizon, and of course by horizon I mean so damn close I can already feel my haggard-ass eggnog hangover, but who's counting? We here at the show thought it would be a nice change of pace to visit that other station. You know, the one with food in its name.
You are breaking up a lot. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all right. Anyway, while recently indulging in some chopped goodness and reminiscing about whatever happened to Queer Eye, that's a Ted Allen reference for anyone keeping track, I ended up getting sucked into the sweets tournament they were having and was introduced to tonight's phenomenal guest. Coming from an illustrious background, including Nightingale NYC and a little place called Momofuku, no big deal, right? Tonight's guest is a graduate of the ICE, no, not that one, Trumpsters, you're going to have to get all hot and bothered somewhere else, Baking and Pastry Arts program. In my paltry review of her incredible credentials, it's safe to say that she may very well have held every humanly possible position in the realm of all that is pastry. Where could she go, you ask? Simple. She headed into a new and exciting gig that goes by the name of Bliss Bomb, a baked mini donut concept opening in February 2020. And it'll sell in a Carroll Gardens Brooklyn bakery, delivered to all the 5 boroughs, thanks Beastie Boys for teaching me what the hell that means, and even deliver nationwide through e-commerce gift boxes. But that's the future, and the present is now. From anthropology to pastry to cleaning up house, even beating her own teacher, I might add, on Chopped, and now doing her own thing. I, for one, can't wait to learn more. So let's cut the shit and get down to it, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between. Tonight's guest, Momofuku veteran, Chopped Sweets Tournament champion, and the pastry chef for the soon-to-open Bliss Bomb, repping the 5 boroughs, Chef Tarran Hatton. What's going on, Chef?
John, hold on. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, great. Sorry, we're getting a poor connection for a hot minute.
That's all right. I think we're back and we're good, and you're all introduced, and everyone knows who the hell you are. What are you up to this evening?
I just actually finished my first bake for Bliss Bomb this evening.
Woo! What'd you make?
Woo! Yeah, it was exciting. We got our first bakes done. They're great. They're about to go live probably in less than a week.
Nice.
And, I picked up a new laptop. I got myself a Sazerac at my favorite Williamsburg bar that I miss so much, but it's nice to have any reason to have to go to Williamsburg specifically for having a reason to drop by and get a Sazerac at a We Got Company.
I love it. We Got Company in Williamsburg, you said?
Yeah.
That's
honest
awesome.
to God, my favorite bar. Like, it's a perfect spot.
All right. Well, you heard it here. Already a plug in the mix. Let's.
Yeah, I will plug the
now.
shit out of that. They're incredible. Like, you want a Sazerac, you want a good old fashioned cocktail and like some really good tunes and a really like chill spot.
Yeah.
It's where I go and do a lot of my reading and or writing.
That's where you need to go, apparently. Yeah. So, man, I can't believe, I know that you and I have kind of ping-ponged back and forth trying to get the date nailed down, and it was all based off of that Food Network Chopped Sweets tournament.
Yes.
And what a remarkable... I always feel guilty because I never want the guests on the show to think that I'm only taking my impression of you culinarily from that like one facet, that one fleeting moment of reality TV. Like I know you're way more than that, but that's how we came to know you. And you know, to kind of pull back the curtain a little bit here, Tarran and I have been on the phone probably for about an hour and a half now.
Yes, this is true.
Prior to this, we've been on the phone easily an hour and a half, and you know, just kind of getting to know each other. And wow, what a cool backstory, forestory, future story, and I can't wait to start digging into it. So without further ado, folks who are new to the program, folks with shitty short-term memories like me, starters, mains, and afters are the parts of the show. Starters, we talk about where the guest in question came from, what brought them to where they're at today. Mains, we're going to talk about what they're doing in the present. And finally, afters, a little bit more irreverent, a little bit more off the cuff, but no one has been injured in 113 episodes, so I don't see that happening this evening, hopefully. Although you did quite a number on yourself cooking, what was it?
Oh, God, I was making steak and grits.
Steak and grits, and you ended up giving yourself third-degree burns.
Well, it was like steak and eggs and grits.
Oh, okay,
not just steak and... Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
It started out southern and got real French, and then it got real dangerous.
It got real napalm. Okay, we got it. Yeah. We got it. So let's dive right into it. Without further ado, Chef Tarran Hatton, tell me about where and what you grew up eating.
Oh, God. So, I grew up on Long Island, Patchogue, Medford specifically, represent. But basically, it's this really fascinating part of Long Island that nobody ever realizes exists because everyone's like, "Oh my God, you grew up in the Hamptons," or like, "Oh my God, are you like from Long Beach?" It's like, no, I'm from like Long Island, like Billy Joel's Long Island, like, you know, where we've got literally, like, you know, songs from an Italian restaurant.
Yes, you do.
Like, no, like, yeah, it's that kind of a world where everyone's always really confused by my ability to make an incredible matzo ball soup as well as a great eggplant parm. And then they're like, "So are you Italian? Oh, are you Jewish?" And I'm like, "Nah, man, I'm like Irish and German." And they're like, "But I don't understand." I'm like, "Well, I'm like, you know, like an Italian Jew by proxy because I grew up in this like weird inner part of Long Island, like on the top of the moraine, which is, fun fact, where the Ice Age actually stopped in North America." Woo!
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's why Long Island has better pizza and bagels than the rest of New York.
Did you hear that, people? You learned something new. Every goddamn episode you learn something, and I just learned something.
Also, fucking shots fired, man. Long Island has better bagels and pizza than New York. Sorry, guys.
I'm gonna sit back with my Kevlar vest on and hope that you know, that whole battle kind of subsides. It's one of
those battles where if you know, you know, and if you don't, you should teach yourself.
Ooh, she's getting serious up in here.
I am, yeah. But it's honest to God, though, like, finding good pizza in Brooklyn after growing up where I grew up is a very difficult, like, to be fair, I have yet to make it to DeFara's, and that's happening this month, but in all honesty, the greatest pizza I found in the entirety of New York City in my endeavors to find good pizza is Rose's Pizza.
Nice.
Oh
nice.
My God, so good.
So let me ask someone who clearly knows, who clearly, obviously is opinionated, but who clearly knows. What makes that pizza? I know people have opinions, like, as long as the day is, like, I get that.
Yeah. Everybody's got a pizza opinion.
What makes it that good? What is it that sets that bar for you?
So, well, for Rose, what made Rose's the real move, and prior to Rose's, it was, oh my God, are you still there?
Yep.
Great, cool, sorry.
That's all right.
Prior to Rose's, it was Best. But Rose's does like the perfect thin crust. They've got like a great sauce. They've got an incredible fucking cheese. Like everything they do is like really top quality. And then the real clincher, the thing that Rose's does better than anybody else in the world, or rather better than anyone else in Brooklyn, is that they know how to like properly burn a pie. You know, like it's about getting that pie well done, and they can do it.
Yep.
But also they've got a grandma slice that's like a crusher. It's my favorite thing in the world.
So for those,
and it's hard to find. That's the real rarity.
For those of us unaware, describe to us all the grandma slice.
Oh my god, a grandma slice. A grandma slice. So, for me, originally from Little Albert's, which is like a little bit out in, I want to say Smithtown. It was across the street from where we used to get our nails done.
So if you used to get your nails done with Tarran, call us up here at the show and we'll figure out where the hell this place is.
Oh yeah, well, you know, like back, like getting real Long Island here, like back when you would go and get your acrylics done. And you would then go to Little Albert's across the street. Woo, I'm really dating myself a lot. But I don't think, does anybody even get acrylics these days? Is that even a thing anymore?
I think my wife has, maybe in the past acrylics? Calendar year.
Maybe, or I don't know. I feel like I recently went to get a manicure pedicure this past week. I took like my mom and my sister, and they were like, "You want a manicure?" And I was like, "I mean, it's kind of fruitless, but sure. I guess I should maybe get my nails painted for this important event." And they did it, and they were like, "Do you want a gel?" And I was like, "I don't even know what that means." And they were like, "Well, it's like a manicure that lasts for 2 weeks." I was as opposed to like a day and a half. Like, I don't.
Sure. Yeah, I'll take it. It sounds good.
Whatever. Sure. Yeah. Take my money. Like, make this work.
Yeah.
And it lasted all but 4 days. So.
All right. So growing up, Long Island.
Anyways, yeah. So a grandma slice. I'm sorry. We diverted really hard. Grandma slice. It's like a thin Sicilian. Okay. Right? So, like, all the beauty of a Sicilian with the edge and the bottom crust, but it's not as bready.
It's not that puffy, cakey nonsense.
I fucking hate that. Why do people do that?
All right, so clearly I don't have to go the Chicago route with you and say, hey, Tarran, is Chicago pizza real? Or
no, it's not. That's a pot pie.
There you go. Thank you.
Open-faced pot pie is what a Chicago pizza is.
I agree with you. 100%. You heard it here. Chicago pizza, dying a fire. Not really die in a fire, but just get cooked in a fire and be called by the right name, maybe.
Right? Yeah, no, like, there's nothing wrong with Chicago-style deep dish pizza. It's just not a pizza. Right.
Ask
an You should ask me. I don't actually have a right to make a comment about this, but you should ask an Italian what they think Chicago deep dish pizza is.
Because what was the origin of pizza? What did they want to do?
Like, OG pizza was just Neapolitan, if I'm not incorrect. It's been a while since I've been in a food history class, but like, yeah, it was like basic ass pizza from Napoli, and it was just like red sauce and some mozzarella and some basil to make the Italian flag from Margherita.
Yep. And because wasn't it the fact that the workmen wanted to be able to take it with them to the job site? And so they wanted to be able to fold it?
No, well, that was not the Italian
or was that the Americanization
origin? That was the New York origin of it.
There you go.
Oh my god.
Regardless.
Here's a really crazy thought that I just had. A pizza was the Italian-American pasty.
Whoa.
A pizza is a pasty.
Whoa. You might.
I know. Right. Did I just blow your mind a little bit?
I think you did a little bit.
That's exactly what it is. Realistically, a calzone's just a giant pasty.
That's exactly what it is. You get calzone, stromboli, anything like that that's like encased. And I mean, you take a pizza, fold it in half. What are you doing?
Yeah. God, where's Ben Wyatt to fucking come in on this?
Forget the episode. Forget the story of Tarran Hatton. You came here for the wrong reason, kids. We're going to talk about why pizza is one thing and not 999 other things. So,
listen, don't get me started on mayonnaise.
All right, let's go. Mayonnaise. What's your problem with it?
I don't have a problem. I love mayonnaise. Mayonnaise is one of my favorite condiments.
Oh, perfect. There you go.
I have 3 mayonnaises in my fridge at all times.
Which are Duke's is one.
Duke's is one.
Yes.
Hellman's is the other.
Hellman's.
Kewpie is the third.
Ooh. What's that third one?
Kewpie.
Have not heard.
You've heard of Kewpie Mayonnaise, sir. You work in the food industry.
I
It's the
don't.
Japanese one.
I have not. How many guests do I have to tell this to? I have no invested interest in this. It's a pastime. It's a passion project. But Kewpie is from where?
Kewpie is the Japanese mayonnaise. It is very high. I love you, Pugsley, but stop. Sorry, that was my... Sorry, my cat was getting very close to my head as I was trying to speak to you. Anyways, no, Kewpie is like an MSG forward Japanese mayonnaise, which you'll find anywhere, really.
Yes.
But it's really good for things like making poke and really just like Japanese needs. I make a lot of poke at home.
I love it. I love poke.
A lot of dirty poke, though. Like, I don't go clean with it. I like some mayo. I like a lot of, like, hoisin sauce in it.
Yes. Yes, you're talking to me. You're talking to me.
Like, I dump a shit ton of furikake on it, just, like, too much.
Yes.
But no, like, Duke's is, like, fantastic for making, like, salads, for making deviled eggs, for making pimento cheese. Like, it's good for all things. It's, like, really high in, like, acid. It's got a good amount of sugar to it. It's, like, a good, like, that's... I don't want to say it's my favorite mayonnaise, because Hellman's has been my go-to for a really long time.
Hellman's is a standard.
Like, Hellman's is my standard. I grew up with Hellman's. I only discovered Duke's in the past, like, 4 years. Does that mean you should forsake something because you found something better? Sometimes, but...
Would agree.
Hellman's is my go-to for, like, a proper BLT.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
And I have a lot of feelings about BLTs, so...
Well, you know what's funny? Do you remember the early days of the Food Network?
I do, yes.
Okay, so David...
Oh my God, Rachel Ray was my first girl crush.
Ah, nice. Well, do you remember David Rosengarten and Taste?
Oh my God.
So,
that's, like, super old school. Alright, so fun facts.
Yes.
My first job...
Yes.
in the world...
Yes.
as a 13-year-old... was working for my father's... refurbished appliance store that he bought on a bet.
He bought an appliance store on a bet?
Yeah, like, it was, like, on a bet, like, the friend really needed someone to just buy it out from him. He was, like, in hard times. I remember when my dad, like, took this, there's a very awkward loft in the middle of this. This is a weird appliance store. There were, like, nooks and crannies and weird things. And I remember going up to the top of the loft, which is where we kept things, but there was also, like, an air mattress up there. Like, clearly the dude had been living in this appliance store, and this appliance store was not habitable to anyone. Like, I would go into work, and we had multiple space heaters. It was so cold or so hot. Like, it was not climate controlled. It was a terrible place to have to be during extreme weather. But anyways, like, I digress. It was my first job as, like, a 14, 15-year-old, like, was, like, refurbishing appliances and, like, being a secretary and doing all of the things that, like, realistically, a 14-year-old probably shouldn't be doing. Like, I shouldn't be having conversations with, like, an angry landlord about why his, like, HVAC system isn't working, nor should I know how to fix that. How to fix the HVAC, but, like, at some point during, like, my 14th year, my father, like, took me on, like, a weird trip where he was like, we're gonna go get hot dogs, and I was like, alright, Dad, let's go get hot dogs, and then he was like, we're gonna stop somewhere first, and then he comes out with a bunch of manuals, like, HVAC manuals, and he's like, you're gonna learn how to fix things, and I was like,
I'm not sure how I feel about this.
I'm not sure I feel about this, and also, like, I got West Side Story practice in 2 hours, but all right.
Yes. So, I mean, man.
That said, I learned how to fix a fucking air conditioner. I know when to replace the Freon, so it saved me a lot of money in the long run as an adult living in New York City, so.
Right on. I mean, so, like, between Long Island, confused culinary identity with the ability to cover all bases, and now the ability to fix freaking appliances. Well, like, how could you? You should have a food truck by now, I'm thinking. Like, I think that's the ultimate solution to all of this.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
I'm just saying. I mean, you know how to fix all that shit?
That. My dad would fucking love that.
It's,
So, my father and I, one of, like, my first, I would call it a culinary baptism.
Yeah.
Was, and I kind of actually talked about this really, I haven't seen my Chopped episodes, so I can't actually really say what I talked about on
Oh my god, they're so good.
I don't have cable.
Oh, well, I mean, what I
my
don't mean to
first
say is I'm going to download them, burn them to a digital device, and send them to you, but I might. Wink, wink.
But maybe if you do, that would be great, because I briefly sort of saw my first episode through FaceTime.
Yeah.
With my roommate who was convalescing in Albuquerque because she had, and here is a fucking public service announcement for everyone. If you ride a bike,
yes,
wear a fucking helmet, please.
Why is that, Tarran? Why is that,
And if you are driving a car, drive the speed limit and pay attention.
Fair.
Because if you don't do those things, you hit a person on a bike and potentially murder them.
Yes, that is fair. You should wear a helmet. You should drive the speed limit. That is true.
Yes, if my roommate, if the love of my life had not been wearing her helmet, she would have died.
There you go, people. Listen in.
There's my PSA for this entire thing, which is, like, bike riders, please God, wear a fucking helmet and put a flashing light on your goddamn bikes.
Note to the producer, show the more you know graphic here. Thank you.
Yes, please, thank you.
If you do that, John, in post, I will love you forever.
It would make me so happy. I went through a really, like, this happened in July, which was what, me and my old milk bar assistant Alex would refer to as, like, any potential things in the future and past that were, like, terrible months or, like, terrible moments in our lives. We're just like, we're not gonna have another July. But this had started off the Julys, and I remember going through a brief moment where I'd, like, drive around and I would see, like, a bike rider without a helmet and be like, put on a fucking helmet, do you want to die? Like, stop it.
Right?
Yeah, it's, like, such a weird, easy fix. It's, like, as easy as, I don't know, using a condom to not, like, catch herpes. Like, why would you not just put a thing on your head?
Yeah, I was going to say, if you followed that up with have kids, you're talking to the dad of 3 sons, so probably not the discussion you want to have.
Yeah, right? Yeah, fucking put a hat on. Put a party hat on, man.
Put a party hat on. There you go.
At all times. Party hats are a good idea. So
safe to say, though, that maybe... in a kind of weird roundabout way, your dad was a culinary influence on you?
I'm totally fucking digressing. You're going to hate me for all of this. I'm so sorry.
I got 5 years experience, man. I bring people back.
You also had an hour and a half of talking to me while I was drinking wine and discussing our book collection.
Well, so. You know, I got things to do. You
can't get too angry if I get off topic.
No, but I love it.
Anyways, my first culinary baptism.
Yes.
First culinary baptism, basically, we had this place growing up as a bakery. It was called Fritchie's Bakery. It was in Cityville, New York, and it was run by this, like, 80-year-old German man who made, and I swear to fucking God to this day, the best glazed donut, the best donuts, period. Best donuts I'd ever had in my entire life. I've yet to find an equal. I don't know what this man's secret was. Apart from the fact that he definitely used a brioche dough.
Okay.
But, like, I still can recreate, and he made the best Kaiser rolls in the entire world.
Oh.
like, heartbreakingly good Kaiser rolls and simple glazed donuts. The best Boston cream I've ever had in my entire life.
Nice. Nice.
And he made like a pretty decent Parker roll. My parents really like the Parker rolls. I think that I could match that, but I cannot match that man's Kaiser roll. I cannot match his donuts, and nothing has to this day. And my father has like very much so dedicated himself to this like weird passion project. And it's really funny because basically Fritchie's went under when Old Man Fritchie died, and like it was left to his family members, and then it was sold out, and there's a bunch of things happening, but like nothing is the same, nothing is as good or as worth getting woken up at 5 a.m. by your father to go on like a bakery run, which is
nice.
What a culinary baptism is, which is you get woken up at 5 a.m. to get into the truck, to get to the bakery for the 6 a.m. opening.
Nice.
So you can get the rolls and the donuts, because if you're not there at 6 in the morning, you don't get the rolls and the donuts.
It's done.
This is pre-Cronut, man.
See,
like,
people are so convenience confused. People think that because they want something, they're owed something culinarily.
Yes.
Like, fuck off. There's a finite supply, and if you don't get it, you're done. That's why the Japanese fish market. People are up at like 3 in the morning to go and get the best otoro and like all these different cuts. Like, look, you snooze, you... God, did I just turn into my dad?
You did.
You snooze, you lose, bud. Duh.
It's true, though.
But it is very true. Yeah, fair.
It is. And also, like, it's weird because this was proto-line culture, you know?
Yes.
This was, like, before you had, like, weird hypebeasts lining up for fucking, like, goddamn sweatshirts to Supreme, and before you had goddamn, like basic bitches being like, I gotta get online for a cronut.
I'm a
like,
Visco girl.
Do you know I had to look that up last week?
My wife did, too, 2 weeks ago. Don't tell anybody.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, it just went out on air. There you go. Greta had to look up Visco.
Yeah, I had to look it up. And it's actually, that's a lie. I actually looked it up a little bit. So the person who actually awakened me to the concept of the Visco girl was Mommy Shorts, you know, Alana Wiles.
Okay.
And she was, like, posting about it, and I was like, what is this fucking thing? And then I realized at the time that my assistant was, like, a to the T Visco girl. And I was like, after looking it up, I was like, are you a Visco girl? Well, I haven't posted in a while, but...
Oh, it's a posting thing? Like, you have to post to be Visco?
Yeah, I don't... Do you remember when Visco Cam was... So, Visco... Here's a weird thing that, like, just, like, jogged my memory. Was Visco Cam was a weird thing, like, 10 years ago, when they were trying to be, like, fake Holga cameras.
Why does this sound familiar? I don't remember it. I can't place it.
So there was a really brief moment. All right, so this is like really deep hipster culture. Like when Zooey Deschanel was not the manic pixie dream girl of your dreams. She just happened to be a person, the go-getter.
Was there ever a time that wasn't a case? All right, go ahead. I'm listening. Sorry.
I know, it's true. She's been my crush for like 20 years, but I'll never forget seeing her in like Elf and being in love with her.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there was, like, that very brief phase of, like, shoot from the hip, like, we're gonna use cool film again photography.
Oh, yeah, yes!
And like, Urban Outfitters was, like, Holga cameras, and, like, they were all old school, and it was like, oh, you're gonna get, like, a cool lens flare on your shit.
Yep.
And it was, like, before Instagram existed.
Yep. No, you're right. Now that places it.
Twitter was a thing, and I think that's what I was posting to, but Visco Cam was an actual it was like pre-Instagram. It was like and I remember taking photos and posting them. And I'm only remembering this now because I remember like a Facebook, like on this day in this year, 90 years ago.
Right.
Posted by blah.
90 years ago. Jesus.
I'm like, I remember those days. I was happy and full of hope.
And now I'm sad, jaded,
Donald Trump wasn't the president, and we didn't live in a Nazi state.
Oh, what do you mean? Oh, it's great.
Your producer can just blank that out, right?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure he can. Trust me. He'll layer in some libertarian candidate, which, trust me, at this point, I'll take whoever. So, there we go. We're good. But, no, it's so funny to think back to that time and realize that those trends today, like Visco, when my wife first, actually it was my oldest son, is like, yeah, my girlfriend's a Visco girl. I'm like, A, you have a girlfriend? Wait, what? And then B, what is a Visco? And you saying that now, I'm like, I do recall that. I remember the cam. I do remember it.
Sorry, no, honest to God, I did not hear more than 3 syllables of that entire sentence.
No, that's fine. I don't hear most of my syllables anyway.
No, you're just breaking up really hard.
I'm sorry, I was just saying that, Visco was one of those things that only when you just, like, shook the coffer of my long-term memory, I'm like, wait a minute, I do remember that.
You do?
I do, yeah. It
and it was like fake light box.
That's exactly what it was. Oh my God, Visco. So, Visco, the culinary baptism, all these things together, maybe not Visco, bring you to, so you did your undergrad in anthropology, correct?
Yeah, anthropology and art history.
All right, so here's where the question becomes, obviously here you are killing the culinary scene on pastry, right? When did that happen?
All right. So basically, when I was in my senior year of high school, there was like the really fun game that me and my friend Julie Henkin would play, which was what can we get away with handing in? So I was like an AP kid. And so I was in AP studio and AP like fine arts and all of whatever APs you could get away with as an art kid. Can you hear me?
I can, yeah.
Okay, cool. Sorry, it's saying pause in the thing. So there was a few times where I would bring in like sweet potatoes with garlic and rosemary or pumpkin bread or whatever in lieu of an actual art assignment to critique. And she would do the same. We'd be like, well, we didn't get to that because we had a show, but, we brought you these here sweet potato Scholzy, and we love you.
Aww.
And he would be like, this is accepted because art's a joke, and I'm not gonna not credit you for not making, your art, if you're making art, sort of, kind of. But also, yeah, like, he wasn't about to, like, fail us for not turning in a goddamn painting on time, because that's not how... And we technically still turned in an assignment, but towards the end of the year, I was kind of really caught, because I loved cooking, and that was the thing that everyone was like, oh my god, you're so good at it, you should do it, blah, blah, blah. But that's, like, the fucking telltale sign of a failed restaurant, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
And then... And, like, at that point, I was already going to SVA. So I was going to SVA while I was in high school for some pre-college courses. And then I was supposed to go there for fine arts, and it was, like, a whole thing. And my dad pulls up to the house one day, I guess knowing how, like, torn I was between food and art.
Nice.
with a 1957 Bel Air convertible.
Ooh.
Turquoise, white leather interior, mint. Oh, she was beautiful. She was such a good sweetheart.
Did I
tell you, this was my graduation day. Yeah, so I was graduating from high school at this time.
Oh, wow.
I was already set to go to SVA, and my dad was like, I bought this because I know you like this aesthetic. And I'm like, damn right I like this aesthetic. She said wearing a full A-line, like, floral dress and cardigan and, like, curled hair, you know. It was 2005. Rockabilly was still a thing.
Oh, my God. Ryan Setzer.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a number of decisions I made. To be fair, at least they fit my body type. It was better than the golf move. But he brings this car up, and he's like, so here's the thing. So he's like, I'm going to drive you to your graduation in this beautiful car. At this point, one of my dad's weird passion projects was to open up an auto restoration garage. So he was like basically just like restoring cars for fun, which is something he'd always wanted to do, but now he was doing it for profit. And so we're driving there. He's like, yeah, so you like this car? And I'm like, I love this car. He's like, would you like this car? And I'm like, instead of my fucking Cavalier, yeah, man, I would love this car.
What's wrong with the Cavalier?
Dude, my Cavalier, all right, we'll talk about Cavaliers in a minute. Because I have so many feelings about Cavaliers. I still drive a Cavalier.
Really?
So, yeah, do the math on that.
Wow.
But, so he promises me this turquoise, beautiful, my dream car. I literally had a model of this car. So mind you, like, my dad, like, was into cars and models, and I was his firstborn, and after, like, a long time where he didn't have a son, he just kind of was like, well, you're gonna be the one. I'm just gonna teach you to do things like HVAC and cars and stuff. And then he finally got a son and then forgot about me. This is a lie, actually. I'm still the favorite. But
ooh, you heard it here, kids.
I don't think he would deny it. Anyways, promises me this car if I drop out of art as a college choice, and I go to school for culinary. And so I'm like, well, you know, I've been torn, and also, like, going to school for art seems kind of dumb. So does going to school for culinary, but whatever.
It's one art for another, right?
Yeah. So I end up trying to go to CIA, but, like, there's some weird shit where I'm like, well, this isn't gonna work. And also, I don't want to be like their site, it's very militant. And I'm just, like, not interested in going to the military for food. So I end up signing up for the French Culinary Institute, which is what it was at the time. And, like, I get all the way, I'm literally, like, 4 days from starting my courses there, and I'm at this place called El Dorado with my mother, which is, like, a weird Tex-Mex restaurant on Long Island. And I'm like, fuck. I didn't get goddamn kitchen shoes. I need shoes. And I was like, well, where are we going to get kitchen shoes? Because, again, this is, like, 2006.
So Amazon Prime wasn't a thing at that point.
No, nor was, like, being a cool kitchen person a thing.
Got it.
So, for whatever goddamn reason, I'm like, oh, the waitress will know. And my mother looks at me, she's like, why the fuck would the waitress that just brought us, like, my weird, oh my god, I wish I could remember it was, like, rodeo penne. It was like yeah, exactly. It was like some weird creamy penne dish with, like, some chipotle chicken. It was my mother's favorite thing there. It was either that or the chicken enchiladas. And anywhere that you can get penne and enchiladas is always a bad choice.
Yeah.
But
That's like crossing streams in Ghostbusters. You don't cross the streams, right?
You don't do that. But it was like the favorite spot, and to be fair, they did do both a very good penne and a very good enchilada. I don't remember what I used. I used to order a weird fried chicken burrito there. Anyways, we're there, and I asked the woman, and this woman turns to me, and she goes dead in her eyes, right? Yeah. You've never seen a person lose so much hope, but she looks at me, and she goes, I'm going to tell you 5 things. I'm like, all right, cool. She goes, 1, I'm a graduate from Johnson & Wales. I'm like, cool. And she's like, 2, I'm a waitress at an Eldorado's Tex-Mex restaurant on Long Island. I'm like, cool. Yeah, those 2 things don't track. She goes, 3, I'm desperately in debt for a culinary degree that clearly has not come to fruition.
Got it.
All right.
Got it.
Cool. So, and my husband was like almost 40, so she was just here crushing like an 18-year-old's dreams. But then she follows it with like, and so what are you going to culinary school for? I was like, for like culinary, straight culinary. She's like, yeah, do yourself a favor. I was like, business. What's that? She well, go to school for pastry because you're a woman. And they'll never put you in anything but pastry.
Got it.
And 5, go to a school that'll give you a real degree. So this woman just single-handedly just scares me, and more specifically my woman, my mother, who is the woman who's like bankrolling any of my education at this point in my life, because I'm 18 years old. I'm clearly not making any money. I've just been working at Prestano's Bakery, and Michael's Arts and Crafts, trying to come home with like a living enough to like pay for pizza and like Twin Peaks blockbuster rentals. Like, I'm not making any real money. Like, I'm not.
Yeah. So you weren't footing the bill for it all. Your mom was, right?
Oh God, yeah, no. So at this point, I was like 18, 19 years old. I was not paying for anything in my life. Thank God.
Right, right.
Terrible idea.
Yeah.
But this woman scared the both of us. She scared the bejesus out of us. And, like, the best thing she possibly said was, like, fuck culinary school. Just go work in a restaurant and get paid.
Right.
And learn some shit. But at that point, she had scared us enough that my mom was like, you gotta get a college degree. And so I had, like, applied to a bunch of schools. I was going to go to Purchase for art history, I think. No, I had applied to Purchase, which had been, like, a thing that I really appreciated when I visited there in the past for art history. And then I remember hanging out one day with my friend Julie, and she was like, oh, I got accepted to Stony Brook. And I was like, cool. And she showed me the packet, and I was like, oh, I got one of those too. Because when you apply to a SUNY school, you can check some boxes and apply to a multitude of schools. And sure. So I'd been accepted to Stony Brook, which I hadn't really applied to, but it was up the road, and it was a convenient move, while I waited for the next semester at Purchase. And then I got there and I realized how incredible the art program was, but more importantly, I kind of got, really, I guess, my love of art had always been, obviously very food-based. I painted a lot of Danishes. But I took a couple of Neolithic classes, specifically ancient Middle Eastern art with Shoki Godarzi. If anybody's ever at Stony Brook, that woman was my mentor. She was incredible. But I got really fucking involved in like ancient Mesopotamian art, it just like really captured me, and it was really fascinating because that's where we all come from, you know?
Right. No, absolutely.
That's the super crazy part about it was going in and taking this class. Going in, taking this class that I didn't expect to really enjoy because I had never really liked ancient art prior to. And then I got super hooked. I love ancient art so much. It's literally like the cradle of civilization shit is the thing that really, I think, at the end of the day, just kind of was everything I had been looking for in the past, but also really educated anything I did in the future as well, because everything I ever do and everything I've ever done is really based out of this really interesting need for just basic survival. Like, the thing that I love the most about ancient art history is that it was based out of, like, a crazy, and, like, ethnobotany, too, I guess, if we're getting real in-depth with it. It's
Let's
just
go
how...
deep. Let's get weird.
You want to get weird?
Let's
You
go
want
weird.
to get really weird? Do you want to get Seed of Civilization weird?
By all means.
Alright, I'm not going to get super weird just yet, because that's a special kind of weird that only exists for anthropology students. If you really want to know about dudes jacking off into, like, a wheat field, just read Seeds of Civilization. But if you want, like, the Cliff Notes version of it, it's kind of the same thing as what we deal with today, which is, like, the dude with the most beer is the most popular.
Oh, man. I'm covered.
Yeah, you're set. So am I. I've got, like, so much beer, and I've been selling it off for 2 years, man. I still have, like, a Tiarna, like, hanging out on this goddamn shelf, and I don't know what the fuck to do with it. Like, no one wants to buy it, but I don't want to drink it, because it's kind of valuable. But basically, it was one of those weird, crazy-ass things where if you had the ability to get people drunk, people really fucking liked you. And sometimes they build a pyramid for you. Yeah, so it was like, oh shit, can you get me drunk? Yeah, I'll move some bricks and build you a fucking goddamn gigantic tomb that'll get, like, do you really think the people building the pyramids were like, yeah, I'm gonna make a thing that people are gonna fucking care about in 1,000 million years from now? No! They were thinking, they were like, oh, this fucking crazy asshole just wants me to build a fucking pyramid? Sure, why the fuck not? It's the same way we feel like when we do any goddamn random ass thing, and, you know, somebody ends up with something that's iconic, but now it's some shit like a fucking cronut or a scrunchie, or, I don't know.
I like how cronut and scrunchy go in the same sentence. It's like, it's not even like, no, trust me, they're the same. They're good. So,
I'm just trying to think of, like, the modern day alternative to a thing that's, like, fancy, and the only thing I think is like, I don't know, White Claw? Is that
God, don't do that to me. Summer's over. I hadn't heard that in a while.
I know, but that's the thing. There's still White Claws in my fridge.
Why?
I mean, they're in there because they're an easy alcoholic beverage.
Well, that's true.
Like, just because it's winter doesn't mean you can't drink a White Claw. To be fair, there's no
To be
love
fair.
when you're
To be
drinking
fair.
a White Claw. To be fair.
To be fair. Oh my God.
God, are you a Letterkenny fan?
Did we breach Letterkenny? Holy shit.
Woo! Allegedly.
Yep. Your fingers,
Oh my God.
I don't know.
Dude.
I don't know what you're talking about. You know the thing is, I'm not really
All right.
concerned. What?
Listen. Nobody likes him.
It's a fucking embarrassment, first of all.
It's fucking embarrassment.
Fucking embarrassment.
But you wanna know what?
What?
You do what you love, never work a day in your life.
Never work a day in your life. Sushis and sashimis.
Get this man a fucking puppers.
Yes. Needless to say, I have watched every episode to date.
Your poor producer is gonna have such a hard time.
He's gonna be
trying
like,
to deal with
did
it.
he not take his meds this morning? He is all over the place. And yet, I've never had a guest quite like Tarran. Oh, she's all over the place. And yet in such a wonderful way. I feel like the old dude from Jurassic Park. There is this mystery of the pastry chef. We've never unearthed one before. And yet, here we are.
Wait, am I your first pastry chef?
I think that is a relatively safe bet. Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to verify that.
Yeah, verify it. Verify that shit.
Verify that. I'm sorry, ma'am. I'll get right on that. My bad, yo. 2 seconds. Yes, she was.
I'm your first pastry chef?
I think you were my first official pastry chef. Yes, you are.
Oh my god, that makes me so happy.
You are.
Especially because I'm like the worst pastry chef, because I really prefer
you're really the
savory.
worst because you did so poorly on Food Network. Well,
I did terribly.
Yeah, got it. Sure.
Listen, I cried in front of Martha Stewart, so...
Martha Stewart, first of all, I would cry in front of Martha Stewart just to cry in front of Martha Stewart. So, I mean, like...
To be fair, Martha Stewart showed up before I had my first round, and I immediately was psyched up.
Oh, I'm sure. How crazy does that have to be? So let's interview format wise, even though this is so off the rails, no one's even keeping track at this point, kids. Let's move into present day. Here you are. You go through Momofuku. You're doing all this. You're on Chopped first of all, and not only are you on, you win not just an episode but a tournament.
Yeah.
What the? How did that
happen? I did
happen?
not win the tournament. I won the chance to potentially win the tournament.
I'm sorry, you did. Right. My bad.
So, Chopped is crazy and weird and strange. And literally all of the weird things that Alright, so let's, back it up and then move forward. Are you ready for the craziness?
I'm here. So, I'm here for the duration.
I know, you're kind of trapped, so I'm sorry. So, I go through a weird phase in my life where someone really crazily is like, this has happened to me twice in my life where I've applied for a bartender gig, and they've been like, I don't need a bartender, but I do need a pastry chef, and I'm like, cool, but that's not, I just want to make money and serve some craft beer though, bro. And they were like, yeah, maybe make me bread and do a thing. And so the first time that happened, it ended terribly because I was 23 and somebody offered me a very well-established restaurant. They were like, here are all the things you could do. And I was too young and too dumb to be like, I could purchase Caesar salad dressing. I was like, we're going to make Caesar salad dressing. We're going to make all of the things. We're going to make everything from scratch. Oh, do you want sriracha? We're going to make our own sriracha.
We're going to lay the eggs ourselves.
Yeah, that was entirely... And then there was, pizza ovens, there was all these things, and, it was, multi-level, and he was like, do you want all of this? And I was like, I do want all of this. And he was like, cool, here it is. He's like, now fire half of your staff.
Wow, what?
Yeah, and then, realistically, Hurricane Sandy happened. And the whole thing went under, and it was, a nightmare. But that's way in the past. But also, it's happened, previously, another job where I, went in for a bartender. They're like, we don't need another bartender, but what we do need is someone who could make bread, who could be a pastry chef, and, you can't afford me, right? And this was, the old PJ Hanley's, if you recall that space.
Mm-hmm.
he was like, yeah, we can afford you, the owners really want someone making bread in-house, and, that's really dumb, but here's my salary. And so they hired me on for, a number of months where I was making, like, bread and running a pastry program for, like, 2 to 3 restaurants.
Nice.
None of which, like, they were all in Carroll Gardens, and it was super lovely, except, like, the issue was that, like, no one wanted dessert. So basically my job was just to make
bread.
Burger buns. I was making bread. I was making burger buns and pretzels and baguettes.
Wow.
Which isn't terrible.
No.
But around that time also, like, you realize how expendable you are when you fall on the first snow of the season and sprain your ankle so badly that you can't walk without crutches. And then try to go to your job, all of which are in, like, ancient Brooklyn restaurants. And, like, I'll never forget this very weird moment of trying to, because, you know, you work in, like, restaurants, like, unless you're dying, you show up, right?
Right.
So, like, I was, like, butt-bumping myself down some stairs because I couldn't use my feet. And the owner was there, kind of graciously, and he was like, "What are you doing here?" And I'm like, I'm here to make some brioche buns. He's like, "You just came down the stairs on your ass." And I'm like, "Yeah, I can't use my left foot." He's like, "Cool, that's why we pay you a salary, go home." And I'm like, "Yeah, but, like, nobody here can do any of this yet.
You don't understand, I have to do this. It's on me. I need to do this. Yep.
I gotta do this." And so then I had to, like, this is, like, sort of when FaceTime was, like, a very new concept. So I had to, like, FaceTime train an entire staff on a bread program. And that was, like, my initial life. And then, like, when that finally, thank God, ended, like, I had been, like, looking for some stuff. I was, like, looking around, and I was like, all right, I just need to find something that I love. Also, at this point, I had been, like, way too young to be, like, leading my own programs. Sorry, I'm gonna cough for a minute.
That's fine. Go cough. We good.
Yeah, I, like, was not qualified to be running programs, realistically.
Right.
I was qualified to run those programs, so I wanted to learn more. So I was like, I'm gonna get back into fine dining. And anyways, I ended up interviewing with Caroline Schiff.
Uh-huh.
The new pastry chef for Maysville. And she and I vibed, and we hung out, and then she hired me at, like, 25 cents above minimum wage, which was, like, you know, the protocol for the time. Probably still is. I don't even know now that minimum wage has changed. Maybe people just get hired on at minimum wage.
Yeah, maybe.
But, it was just her and I running this, like, crazy-ass pastry program. And I learned so much.
Sure.
About, you know, sustainability, but also about, like, pastry from her. And then crazy facts, you know, I left her, did some shit at Reynard with Aaron Carnegie-Lau, who's incredible. Did some other shit for a while.
Yeah.
And then, like, ended up at Milk Bar, but Caroline and I always kind of stayed friends and in touch, and, like, very, like, funnily, she had already been on, like, Beat Bobby Flay, and then she had gotten called in for Chopped. And the fun thing that happens when you go on Chopped, or you, not even when you go on Chopped, but when you, like, apply for Chopped / get into casting, is they ask you, they ask you to refer people. And so Caroline had referred me.
Nice!
To Chopped.
Mm-hmm.
I literally owe all that I am to Caroline, in all reality.
I love that. I love that to
She
death.
literally beat the shit out of me until I was like a fucking machine. But don't bite me. That was at the cat, not at you.
I was going to say, episode note, I did not bite her. This is a phone conversation.
Yeah, no. The cat that just bit me. Because how dare I try to lay down on a pillow. But, yeah, no, so Caroline literally hired me, did, like, the like, Karate Kid thing where she literally beat me into submission where nobody could ever really fucking fuck me up ever again in my life. Because I'd been through all that I could be through in my entire life, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then she recommended me for this thing years and years later. At this point, I'd already kind of started doing things, and, like, speaking with Caroline about, like, consulting and doing small things, and I had started doing, like, some cakes actually for the documentary that she's in. Her Name is Chef.
Nice.
Yeah, so if you, like, ever watch Her Name is Chef and you see Elizabeth Faulkner beat the shit out of a sprinkle cake with a fucking sword, I made that cake.
What?
Yeah,
That's
it's my
awesome.
first film credit, actually. It was, like, kind of exciting.
That is awesome. That is exciting. That's phenomenal. So, like, all these connections then, obviously that connection where she networked, she referred you to the show, she brought you on the show, and all of a sudden out of nowhere, I have this culinary dynamo in front of me who I didn't know of before. I think that's the coolest part. For as much as I think we can, I don't know, bare our teeth at food media and be like, oh, you're dumbing it down. The accessibility of amazing talent for a podcaster like myself, like, I wouldn't have known about you necessarily were it not for that episode. And when I saw that story, not just your story, but the story that, like, here was your teacher, it was like full-on freaking Obi-Wan Skywalker shit, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
She beat her? What? That's crazy. I need to talk to her. Get on her Instagram now. And so, like, it's such a cool time to be in it, which, you know, to look forward a little bit with you, obviously, you know, you're the important feature here. I'm the talking mouthpiece that goes on for 5 years.
Please keep going on, because I'm terrible at the conversating part.
No, you're not at all, but, like, here you are then perching up to lean into a whole new adventure based on the successes you've had.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah. It's a weird thing.
How weird. So, February 2020, the name is Bliss Bomb. The rest is yours. Go.
Alright. So, Caroline recommends me. Whatever. Move forward. I go through through casting. I mean, realistically, getting onto Chopped is not, like, a super success. That just means that they like me as a human being.
Right.
Which I guess is a success for me, because, I mean, goddamn, someone likes me. That's great.
I have been on the phone longer with you tonight than I've been on the phone with most of my friends in my entire life. So, that's true. God's honest truth, I hate talking on the phone. All of a sudden, I'm like, wow, it is really 12:30 right now? What's going on? So,
oh, yeah, is it really 12:30? Oh,
it really
right,
is.
It really is.
Yeah, it really
To
is.
be fair, you don't know me that well, so, like, give it a month and then you're gonna hate me. But anyways,
all right, maybe you stink on ice, but go ahead.
Anyways, you know, I get recommended from this thing from my friend Caroline, whatever, and I show up and ow! Sorry, I just got attacked from my
Then your cat bites you.
Yeah. I was, like, sitting there purring, and then I went to pet his face, and then he bit me, and then ran off, and, you know, cats.
Mm-hmm.
Did not expect that. This was the first time he's bitten me in, like, a year. Anyways, whole thing, show up on the show. Rather, I show up at the McDonald's on, I don't know what street in goddamn, like, almost the Bronx at, like, 5:30 in the morning. And there's Caroline. Wait, bitch. I'm sorry, what?
That's amazing.
Yeah, literally, I'm like, alright, cool, so here I am at McDonald's at 5:30. I'm at a McDonald's so early in the morning that I order an Egg McMuffin and the fucking yolk is still runny. Like, and I was like, oh, I guess you're on this with me now. Alright, cool, great. And I immediately know, I say this as a past tense, I immediately know I'm going to lose chops.
That's awesome.
Because Caroline's my competitor,
Sure.
and, like, I can't compete with her. She's fucking incredible. Like,
right? Yep.
This is the bitch that fucking taught me, and she's, like, opened up a consulting firm, and she's done all of these things, and she's just, like, this incredible fucking creature.
Mm-hmm.
And God, I mean, like, I don't know, if any, like, not to quote Mean Girls, but if anybody hides secrets in her hair, it's fucking Caroline Chef.
Yes. Yeah.
Like,
because she's got real
Regina
estate to hide
George.
stuff in. Yeah.
Like, if anyone has any hair to hide stuff in, it's Caroline. But anyways, we do the thing, and we, get down to it, and it's her and I. And I fucking beat her. And that's insane. I was, like, not in a million years what I expected to happen.
No.
But, yeah. I kind of crushed, and I beat her in the chop thing, and she's still my best friend, and I love her to death.
But, like,
she
at that
hate me
moment,
afterwards.
take me back. So we saw it. We're the viewing audience. We see it happen on TV.
Yeah, you saw it. I didn't, so tell me.
But my question to you is, what happened inside you when you realized you did what you thought you wouldn't do?
Oh, God. I think the funniest thing that happened was I didn't realize that I won, and I just, like, went to... this is, like, some behind-the-scenes shit, but I just, like, went to walk off the stage. I'm fucking dead. It's just like, you won. And I was like,
Wait, what?
You're correct. You told me that. I reacted to it, but then my body just wanted to not be.
Right. All the social aspect of it was like, I gotta go. I did a thing. I gotta go.
So I had to go back and do the whole, like, hugging and thanking thing and the, like, reaction as if I had actually won.
That's incredible.
I just did not in 100 years. Like, I was like, alright, cool, I just gotta leave now.
Yeah, I gotta go, bye. Like, I don't want to be here. How cool is that, though? Like, that's the kind of shit, though.
They're like, no, you, like, gotta come back and, like, pretend that, like, you like us. Like, give us hugs and kisses and stuff.
So now, what's your next, like, your next scoop on
fair,
that show?
I fucking do love all of those judges. Like,
so wait, your final judge was Gwarna Shelley one of your final judges?
She was my final. She was in the finale.
She was in the finale. Okay.
Yeah, no, none of them liked me. Fucking Martha Stewart ate my goddamn Yoflaton with a goddamn, like, chopstick. So.
All right. Well, Martha Stewart went to jail, so she can shut up.
No, Martha Stewart went to jail, so she fucking knows what's up.
She does know what's up, but, like, she should
But
relax.
also, to be fair, no, my cremon, my Yoflaton recipe was actually her recipe.
Oh, all right. Well, all right. That's fair. I'm just saying. The judges on the show seem like Scott Conant seems a little bit douchey.
No! Oh my god,
is he nice?
Scott Conant? It was like the nicest man in the entire world.
God damn it! Wow, how did I get that wrong? Although I will say this, there is a how do I put this without saying it on air?
Are you going to talk about the Scott Conant raw onion issue?
No. There's a former guest of this show who sells things on QVC who I couldn't have been more disappointed in as a human being. That's all I'll say.
To be fair, they sell things on QVC, so that should say everything that you need to know about them as a human being.
Are you watching your text messages right now?
I'm not, because I'm holding things.
Well, you can be in a second here. I'm just... I hate to do this behind the curtain of the show, but, like, look, I don't want to get into a libel lawsuit here, but,
I don't even know who the fuck that is, so...
Really?
Yeah.
Yo, you gotta Google that shit.
I will at some point.
I don't want to be all D. Susan Miro. Yo, you gotta Google that shit, girl. Oh, blah, blah.
Well, yeah, I'll Google it at another point in time.
Yeah. Yeah, well, so, alright, that's super cool to hear about Scott Conant, because I've always wondered, been like...
No, he's honestly, he's so fucking sweet, and he's like, I mean, maybe it's the Long Island girl inside of me, but like, oh god, he's such a sweet fucking Italian boy.
Well, like, there you go, okay, alright. That makes sense.
All of his love is in his hair gel. He's
all right.
So lovely. That whole panel, fucking Zach Young and Scott Conant and oh my god, help me with her name right now, please God.
What, Martha?
No, not Martha. They're really sweet, cute girl.
Oh, the little brunette thing.
Yes.
Hang on. I'll find it. This is why I have the computer up in front of me the whole time when I'm doing these interviews. Yep. I saw it. And see, this is why...
Oh my god, I'm just completely blanking.
God, I'm completely choking. That's fine. We're in good shape.
Don't die.
We gonna die.
No, you can't.
Oh my god, you're an asshole. But I love you. I just saw that second text come in. I'm trying to focus now.
The fucking, no, you can't
yes,
die.
I know who you mean. For. Don't say anything more.
Your 3 sons to live for you. You can't die.
Nah, well, I don't know. Maybe. Is that Manit?
Yes!
Yeah.
Oh my god. I'm
yeah.
sorry, my phone's so fucking old that I can't actually look up, like, the interwebs while I'm actually having a phone call. So.
Technology. No, and honestly, to look into that bench there, like, I'm always impressed, even though I get it, as a brand, the Coarse Grind Podcast is 98.5% Top Chef. Bravo. But when I look at the panels on Chopped, I'm like, yo, instead of bringing in former Red Sox catcher from 1973 as a judge, yo, maybe you want to step up a little bit and bring in Aaron Sanchez or somebody.
Oh my god, Aaron Sanchez!
He's amazing. Mark Murphy's amazing.
I've met him in person, but he's still like a big crush of mine.
Dude, he's so cool. He's so cool. He's so first of all,
he's so sweet.
Ted Allen. Ted Allen's
so funny. Oh my god. He's like more funny than you could actually imagine him being.
Alright, so real talk.
Talk.
Chris Santos.
You say that. Am I supposed to know who that is?
He's a judge on Chopped. But alright, so he wasn't a judge for you, so fair.
No, and also, so here's the fun facts. I've actually never seen Top Chef. And, like, I've watched Chops.
Why are you not on it? Why are you not on it?
I don't have cable, man.
All right. First of all, I'm going to reach out to Tom.
Literally, the only food show that I watch with any regularity is The Great British Bake Off.
Oh, it's fantastic.
It's so meditative.
It is. But
it's
listen.
It's also, like, I got like, restricted from it for a while because my roommate's ex thought that I was, too angry while watching it.
That's fantastic.
Because I would, like, react. Like, we'd be like, oh, I'm dying! And, like, it's literally just a fucking meringue.
Dude.
Just fucking make it. It's not that serious. Also, you had 3 weeks to prepare for this. Like, how did you not... Says the girl who made a fucking eel flotan on Chopped. But, like, how did you not prepare your time for this? Like, manage your time better.
Listen. All right, I'm going to say something. I know, career-wise, the future question 10 on my sheet here, is always about the future. And I have Bliss Bomb, February 2020. I get that. Yeah. Here's what we need to do for you, Tarran. I'm going to advise you on air right now. Look, you need to be on Top Chef next season.
Oh, God, no.
I can make that happen. No, I can't. But I can try. I can certainly
I like your promise, though.
I'll say this. 2018, I got a beard nod for the podcast, and 2017, Bravo TV cited me on their site. So they at least know I exist. So I'm thinking I can at least be a loud enough wheel to get you out there. I think you need to go on there.
Here's a better idea. 2020, right?
Bliss Bomb.
Yeah, that happens. And I make great donuts and everybody buys them. Like, that's amazing.
I want some here. Go ahead.
2020. I don't go on a chef competition show. What I do is you and I maybe go on the road and we, like, I don't know, review some food together.
We seem like a well-balanced team, I think.
Yeah, and, like, we do something that's more fun than me fighting against some, like, woman who's had caviar once in her life and, like, thinks that she's a foodie.
Yes, I lost my son when he was 2.5, and I made him a grilled cheese once, and that made me want to be a chef. What?
Yeah.
What? How does that make sense?
That's not ideal.
What? Who are you? Go away.
Yeah.
No, I think the road show. I think the Tarran. I think the Hatton.
I think that the Tarran and Shawn fucking road show's the real move.
The Hatton Rosler road show.
Hatton Rosler road show. We need to have, like, a real good name, though. We need something catchy. Do you have, like, a poll for your audience? Can they pick something for this?
I can make that happen. I think we need to ask them. I think we need to reach out. I think we need to figure out, how does this happen?
It needs to be crowdsourcing.
Brilliant pastry chef meets douchey podcast host. Is that...
Yeah.
You shouldn't have agreed with it that quickly. Like, I think you should have said, you're not douchey, but that's fine. Go with it.
Well, I don't know you well enough yet. I just know that I really like you and wouldn't mind hanging out with you.
Oh, my God.
I'm
all right.
douchey. You don't know that I'm douchey, but, like, that's because you've known
I saw
me for
every book in your house by the time we started. So,
well, to be fair, I live in Brooklyn, and my house is 1 room. So.
I was gonna say it was pretty quick. As like you're doing the loop, I'm like, oh, I'm in rural Pennsylvania. Maybe I should slow down my pace just a little bit here. It's a little weird.
I'm like, welcome to my opulent Brooklyn abode, in which I've got this. Literally, I bought this fucking Christmas tree, and, like, all these people online are looking at me, and they're like, this is such a large Christmas tree. And I'm like, to be fair, this was listed as a 5 to 6 foot tree, and I'm just going for the best deal.
Exactly.
I live in Brooklyn and I have like 12-foot ceilings in my 1 to 2 room apartment. So, I mean, if I'm gonna put a fucking tree in here, I'm gonna make it count. And to be fair, this is like the most counting tree that I've ever had. Like, my last tree was a fucking majestic palm that we fucking decorated because we were like, well, let's make it a tree that can last.
That's the sole policy on it. The tree has to last.
Yeah, like we were like trying to be conservative, and we were like, man, like it sucks to take a dead tree and just stick it in your house for fucking a month. Like that's a terrible thing to do to a tree.
Seems reasonable.
That's bad for the environment.
Yep.
But then, so we were like, we're gonna get a tree, like a tree will keep, and so we got a palm tree and decorated the palm tree.
All right.
And that palm tree still lives in my bathroom.
I like that.
Like 4 years later, that palm tree, that Christmas palm is still living.
I like it. I like it a lot. I
like
it a lot.
This year, like my grandma died, and I wanted like a nice tree to honor her, and so I've got like a real ass tree, and it's a really nice feeling.
Grandma, you got a real ass tree. You should
fucking
know that.
Shirley Lorraine Wagner. You got a real ass tree.
You got a real ass tree, woman. There you go. I hate to go all Tracy Morgan, but here's the thing. You just got a real ass tree. So aside from the Hatton Rosler podcast, which is going to happen, we're going to make it happen.
Yeah, no, this is happening. 2020.
Real talk, real shit, real
talk.
plans, real money. Bliss Bomb. Yeah. What's going on? February 2020. What's happening?
Oh my god. All right, so here's the deal. So, weird, like, crazy fun facts, because serendipity is a thing, and the secret is apparently real. Basically, this dude reached out to Caroline about some recipe development. Caroline was like, I don't have time for this, but here's a girl that could possibly do this for you. And so she reached out to me, and I was like, yeah, 10 donut recipes, I can do that in a minute, no worries. And then it was supposed to be like an e-commerce business that was based out of San Francisco. Here's the whole thing. I made him a bunch of recipes, but he and I gelled so well, and everything was working really decently, where he finally just kind of reached out and was like, hey, here's a crazy idea. What if this is a Brooklyn-based business instead of a San Francisco-based business?
Right.
And if that was the case, would you want to run it? And at that point, the business is entirely based on my own recipes.
Yeah.
And so why not do that? And have an opportunity to own my own business and run my own business and, be a real adult in the industry, and that would be really fun. And so I said yes. And that's what we've been doing. And so January, February 2020 is the official release.
Love it.
I'm super excited. It's really great. It's all of the things. It's this amazing cumulative experience, actually, of everything that I've learned from Milk Bar, from my years as a pastry chef, from everything in terms of, like, flavor and shelf life and making something that's, like, really good and really perfect, but also is, like, perfectly imperfect,
No, follow. Absolutely. Absolutely follow. So, January, late January, February 2020, this is going to happen. So, mini donuts is at the core, right?
Yes.
So, but, like, what can you do with a mini donut? Like, and understand, I know the answer to that, but I don't think everybody else does.
So the answer to, like, what you can do with a mini donut is, it's so much. I mean, the beauty of a mini donut, or rather, the beauty of, like, a Bliss Bomb, which is what we're calling our miniature donuts, is
Love
that you
it.
can, right? Like, yeah, like get bombed with some Bliss. I had a moment when it was like that name was first posted. I was like, do we really want to go bomb though? Is that okay? Because I've just been raised in New York for my entire life, and like bomb is a terrifying term. But once it kind of got like re-explained to me from somebody who didn't grow up, I was like, oh no, that's great. That's exactly what we're doing. Yeah, we're literally just like overloading people with bliss and excitement and all of the beautiful, delicious things we have to offer. But the beauty's a mini donut, right?
Yeah.
So it's what we're doing. It's like a 2 to 3 bite donut. It's a baked donut. So it's not like super overladen with fat. You're getting like the full flavor of the donut. And then we're playing with this new concept. And it's called, very colloquially, infusions and inclusions.
Ooh, I like it. It rhymes.
Right? I like it a lot too. And basically all of our donuts are kind of being hit with this idea where it's like, all right, cool. We have a donut, but where are we getting the flavor in it? And so it's either within an infusion or an inclusion, and that it's either being infused with a flavor or a flavor is being included in something that's kind of solid.
Mm-hmm.
So in the case of like our salted chocolate caramel donut, it's a chocolate donut that's got some, caramel crunchy pieces included in it. It's being infused with like a super burnt dark caramel milk. And then it's being, dipped in chocolate and topped with like a chewy caramel and some sea salt. And, that's what you would expect from that kind of a donut. But when you bite into it, you're getting hit with a couple of like super fun extras.
Yeah, so I'm pretty much spent at this point. I'm done. I'm good. That's all I need.
For the donut or for the podcast?
Sure, yeah, of course. Yes, for the donut. I mean, that's honest to God.
Just hang up the phone. I'm over
I should have just hung it up, dropped the phone down. So here's the thing. I've been to tourist towns, and it's like, oh, this is the donut stop, and everyone's got a cute little donut. Oh, it's our trademark. And they're fine. They're fine. Listen, I'm not making fun of you.
But the thing is that they're all the same. They're all the same base. They're all fried. They're all maybe dipped in a thing, and then they're all cut. And then the move. And this is what we're trying to avoid. And this is not to say anything against like any donut place, because all donuts are beautiful. I love any donut. You're not going to be a donut that I'm going to be unhappy to get.
Right.
But the difference between our donuts and theirs is that every donut, one, realistically, when you're eating anything, right? Think about it like a tasting menu. You don't want a half pound of a flavor.
Well, it depends on what the flavor is, I'll be honest.
I mean, like, if it's bacon, yeah, you want a half pound of bacon. But,
fair.
That's
fair.
But, like, if you're having a baked good, you don't want, like, a half pound of a baked good. You want, like, 2 bites of it and you're done.
That's fair as well.
And, as someone who's been single for a couple of years, sometimes it's really sad to want to go to, like, a donut shop like Dough and to maybe want to eat a thing, but, like, there's so many donuts and only so many you could try because you're one person.
Well, I feel like that's limiting yourself, but, maybe that's just me.
I mean, that's just, being conservative.
Well, and who wants to be that anymore these days, right?
No one wants to be conservative these days. This is true.
This is true. This is true.
I have, like, seriously, no one's gonna get this, are they?
What's
no one's gonna get the Letterkenny references.
No. I have a good number of fans who are fans. I actually weirded out in person a fan of the show, who was also a Letterkenny fan but never saw me in person, and so I snuck up behind him. I did my best. Oh my God. Jared, Wayne, Jesus Christ, I said Jared, but it's Wayne. I did my best Wayne voice. Here's the thing you gotta know. So you're doing a podcast, and you're wondering who you're gonna have on for the next episode. Then somebody comes along, and she wins a sweets competition, thinks she's gonna be the best guest ever. Then turns out she is. Who's to know what to do with that? You know, so... I
Can you
do this.
actually just introduce my show like that?
Oh my God, yeah.
Wait, can we actually, can we, like, not put this on the air, but maybe if you put it on the air, it's fine. But if we open the show, can we maybe do a cold open where we do an ABC open?
All right.
You know what I'm talking about.
I do.
You know what I'm talking about.
I do.
A is for a fucking random-ass podcast that thinks that you're suddenly fucking important enough to be a part of fucking talking to the world.
B is for the bread that my guest makes every day of the week.
Person. C
is for the curation.
Goddamn important. But also...
Yes, I do know all too well. No, I think we should just do one of the... So you come across a guest on Food Network, and all of a sudden she's all the rage because she won a sweets competition. Then one day you find out she's cooking bread for somebody else, and then she's making 3-bite donuts. You don't know what the hell to do with her.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, we could do that. That's that.
Oh my God. Also, I really just need a recording of that to just hand off to other people who want my information.
Oh my God. Just wait until we hang up. I will record you a sidebar bit of audio that you can use wherever you want.
I just want that as my own personal... So, I had business cards at one point in my life with, like, an ex-boyfriend for, like, a really shitty fucking catering craft beer business that we had started. And they were garbage, and I threw them all out.
As you should.
Yeah, right, as one should.
To be fair.
But, to be fair,
Mm-hmm.
Also, some of the dishes I made for that situation were delightful. But, I just got my first real-ass business cards.
Nice.
And it's such a weird feeling.
Pitter-patter, let's get at her.
Pitter-patter, let's get at her. Do what you love and you never work a day in your life. Listen here.
There you are.
Listen.
So you got a pastry chef on your show, and you're not sure how to transition from the mains to the afters. Then one minute you look at it and you go, it's about time you transition from the mains to the afters once you mention Bliss Bomb February 2020 one more time. So there it is. Ladies and gentlemen, be sure to be on the lookout for Bliss Bomb February 2020. At the latest, I might add. But again, they're going to be servicing the 5 boroughs. You know, like I said in the intro, thanks BC Boys. I wouldn't know who the 5 boroughs are were it not for Ad Rock, MCA. And, what's that?
Sorry, I'm talking to my housewife, actually.
Hi, housewife. How are you? Hello. You want to be on air? There you go. You're on air. Congratulations.
We're talking about Letterkenny.
Be on air.
She just came home with, like, the worst case of hiccups.
Oh, God. I'm glad it was hiccups and not herpes. That's, you know, never a good thing to balance out.
Oh, my God, honey, are you alright? No.
Is she going to die?
No, I mean, maybe, but maybe not.
Should we curate it on air? Like, does that make it weird or no?
She's like in the bathroom having a time.
All right. Well, hey, so Bliss Bomb, February 2020. We're going to be on the lookout for it. Let's talk after this real quick. Let's be a little bit irreverent and have fun with you. I'm standing in your kitchen, professionally or at home, your pick. I want you to tell me what music I hear.
Ooh, interesting. If you're at my home listening to music, there's a really fun mix. And it varies from some, like, alright, hold on. Can I just, like, send you a playlist? But also...
You can send me a playlist, but the problem is I don't really appreciate playlists. I'd rather have it written out by hand.
Listen, I know, you don't like a playlist with the ad hole.
I don't like a playlist. I like it written out by hand.
Alright, like, my favorite thing in a professional kitchen is, like, some jock jams.
Why you gotta pick on McMurray? McMurray's an asshole.
McMurray's asshole.
Jock jams, yes!
One of them fucking thruples. But no, I like some jock jams. I like a little bit of technotronic.
Oh, hell yes.
Yeah, like, I like a little technotronic. I like a little Lizzo.
Oh, listen. Man, I just clued into Lizzo, and I adore her. Like, marriage material, kid.
Lizzo is a literal goddess.
Yes, no question.
And, like, I hate to be on, like, the white appropriation front of Lizzo, because that's not what anything's about. But, like, Lizzo is fucking incredible. I mean, great. Oh, honey, do you want tea? Do you want to make you tea? I'm gonna make you some tea.
What's the matter with her? Is she still hiccuping?
Cause don't worry about her.
I got a solution for the hiccups. It's called come over there and scare her with a shotgun, 20 gauge.
All right, McMurray. Anyways, no, like, Lizzo's incredible, and, like, it's like a fascinating, weird turn, and I'm sorry for the background noise.
That's fine.
Give me a second. Just, you know, pour in a kettle. You know, like, Lizzo's incredible, and she's part of this really great, weird, like, new age phase where, like, I don't, God, what's the weird word I'm looking for? Respect for women? Is that the weird phrase I'm looking for here?
Here's the phrase you're looking for. It's not as linear from male to music as it is from female to music.
It's true, yes. Yeah, anyways, yeah, if I'm in a kitchen, like, professionally, it's, like, some Lizzo, it's some jock jams, it's some technotronic, it's maybe some Marilyn Manson, it's maybe some Taylor Swift.
Love it. Love it all. Love it all.
It's probably a lot of Drake, too.
Drake. All right, Drake is kind of out of nowhere, but that's cool.
Listen, I like some Drake. Drake is actually maybe what I was distracted by. Portland was maybe playing when I got my intense bacon fat burns.
So you've been scarred for life, figuratively, we might say.
By both Drake and Migos.
Well, the thing is, you gotta be wearing some clothes there next time when you're cooking that shit.
Listen, you're part of the lifestyle.
I literally have to stretch my neck out when I do the McMurray reference. Like, there's no way to do it and not to do it. Like, I teach voice on the side, folks, and, like, the thing is, when you see a character on screen, the thing is, you gotta be able to repeat it.
It's because you're stretching, but you gotta like invert.
You gotta be able to stretch.
So it's like if you're part of a lifestyle, you gotta understand.
You boys want to come in the hot tub?
We understood when you're part of the lifestyle. We got like a daiquiri. We got them down in the coast.
Yes.
You know the coast.
We got plenty of room in the lifestyle. Plenty of room in the lifestyle. Plenty of room to go to Mexico. All right. Here's one of the favorite questions of all time. You get to answer it now.
Oh, I have a favorite question for you, but give me yours first.
Yes, I'm totally going to answer it. You are going to be hypothetically stranded on a deserted island, and you only can have 3 foods or food-type items with you. Inexhaustible supply, but only 3. What would they be and why?
How long? Oh, God, this is so hard. All right, but how long am I stranded? Or is this just like fucking super basic? You're stranded on an island, pick a thing.
Yep. Super basic.
Oh, God. White beans. For protein and because they're very useful. And because they could be technically made into a sauce.
Love it.
God damn it. I don't... Actually, what are my 3 fucking foods?
God damn it.
I'm trying to, like, phone a friend. Bacon. I love bacon.
Love it.
It's so useful. I need to pick 3 fucking foods that are inexhaustible that I would have on a fucking desert island.
Tell her whiskey.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is booze involved? Can I include booze?
Dude,
but is that a separate option?
Mine, I was so basic when my wife interviewed me for the show on episode 20.
I would say white beans, I would say bacon, and I would say whiskey.
Love it. Any particular kind of whiskey?
Evan Williams.
Love it. Great choice.
It's super simple. It does the job.
Yeah, it does. I know. Oh boy, do I know.
We're an Evan Williams household.
Evan Williams, it's good for the heart. So I hear.
And the soul, yeah. So here's my question for you.
Hit me with your question.
All right. This is a question. This was. I can say was now because I found someone that I love. Oh God, you might not be able to publish that on air. That was real personal.
No one's listening this far in. You're fine.
I know, no one gives a fuck. except for the person that loves me that's actually probably listening to this. Hi, Chris, I love you.
And if he does love you, listen, my 7th grader told his girlfriend, I love you 3 times before they hung up tonight, so you're good.
That's really cute, but that's also before things count.
I hope so. I goddamn hope so.
So here's the question that I ask everybody ever, if I actually care about you.
Hang on, I'm sitting back. I'm sitting back for this.
For Tinder. So here's the question.
All right.
And I'm gonna give you some things. She already knows. Ashley already knows. Oh God, Ashley, I don't know what your answer to this question is.
Oh, Ashley, you're slipping. God damn it, Ashley.
You're gonna have to answer this.
All right, Ashley.
What is your soul sandwich? If you were a sandwich as a person, like you as a person, if you were a sandwich, what sandwich would you be?
I can tell you right now.
It can't be your favorite sandwich.
No.
It needs to be the sandwich that best describes you as a human being.
Best describes me as a human being? I'm ready to go. Go. You ready?
All right, go for it.
All right. So the white, thick bread that I just made 2 nights ago. So I baked my own bread. Thick white bread, grilled down
Don't be self-serving.
No. Trust me on this. Grilled down to a garlic bread consistency with both the butter, olive oil, brown butter, I might add, with the garlic pieces, just to really kind of pull that flavor out nicely. And it would be a prosciutto wrapped chicken, fried chicken piece, either it be a breast or a tender or what have you. Fried chicken.
He was so offended.
What's that?
No, I'm sorry. Ashley kicked him out of his room and shut her door. And he looked so upset.
So, prosciutto wrapped fried chicken piece with a basil frite. So, like basil leaves dropped in, flash fried real quick, tucked in. So there's a crunch factor in it with a smoked mozzarella wrap around it. So a big piece of smoked mozzarella just wrapped around it, tucked between the 2 pieces with 2 beefsteak tomato slices on top and bottom. Toss under a salamander. Done.
All right, so prosciutto wrapped chicken. Breast?
With smoked mozz.
Hold on. So, you got a smoked breast.
Yes.
So you have a regular chicken breast.
Not
Wrapped.
breast necessarily, whatever piece would fit best. But yes, probably.
Wrapped in prosciutto, and then breaded and deep fried.
Fact.
And then topped with beefsteak tomato.
Yep.
Smoked mozzarella.
Tucked in between.
Tucked in between. Not melted forcibly by a salamander.
No.
Okay. And then that's on some garlic bread. But not some, like, straight-up garlic bread.
No. The white bread that I bake...
style garlic bread that you've made.
I make my family white bread anytime we have any kind of soup or chili. And it kind of goes along my grandfather's old recipe. And it just makes a wonderful grilled garlic bread very quickly, very nicely.
I do love garlic bread.
I do.
Same.
How can you not? Unless you're a communist. And then
Or a
that
monster.
answers that.
Yeah, I agree.
So what does that say to you about my personality?
Ooh, this is super interesting. Alright, so, what this says to me about your personality is that you want to be more complicated than you actually are.
That's true. I'll give you that, for sure.
It says that you want to keep your roots where they are,
Fair.
but you want to branch out in a way that doesn't necessarily make sense for your familial history. But you kind of have a concept of where you belong in the world, and you're willing to accept it.
God, if I do and I'm okay with that, I'm scared.
So you're like, I get it. I want to branch out. I want to fight, right? Like, I want to fight against what the concept of my family is. But I also want to embrace it. I want to embrace the perfect part of my family, which is the weird Texas toast garlic bread. But I also want to recognize my own distinction, aka your prosciutto wrapped fried chicken breast, which is highly unnecessary, but it's also really delicious. Like, I'm not angry at you for that concept or that thought. And then you're coming in with a smoked mozzarella, which is, again, another cry for, like, distinction. You're like, man, I don't just want to be mozzarella. I want to be a smoked mozzarella. And I love a smoked mozzarella if it's done well. So a lot of this is just you wanting to, like, take something classic and then kind of elevate it.
Yeah.
Like, you want to take something good, something that you're, like, familiar with, but you want to make it special.
Put it this way. Here, this will spell that out to you perfectly.
Make your dad proud. If we're getting real, like, therapeutic here, you want to make your dad proud.
My dad wouldn't eat that with a fucking stick a mile long. Neither would my mom.
Not at all, but you want him to respect it.
My wife would devour that, look at me, and literally push out kid number 4 because of it. That's what I want.
Oh, interesting. So you care more about the respect of your wife than the respect of your father?
Culinarily? Absolutely. Hands down. I left a small town.
Now.
Yeah. I left a small town and I taught my wife how to cook basics early on. Yeah.
Ooh, the podcastee becomes a podcaster.
It's like all of a sudden, how do you feel, Clarice? Are you nervous?
Tell me about your feelings.
But no.
What is your soul sandwich, Ashley, while you're out here? What? What's your soul sandwich? What is your sandwich?
Bring her over so we can hear her. I want to hear her voice.
Stop it, Hannibal. If you were a sandwich, what sandwich would you be?
Hello, Ashley. Would you be a human sandwich?
I'm asking asking you if you were a sandwich, what sandwich would you be? Turkey Club. Turkey Club. Are you okay? Yeah, sure. She would be a Turkey Club.
She would be a Turkey Club. What does that say to you?
It sounds that she's balanced and delightful.
Balanced and delightful.
Yes.
We can ignore that. I'm so sorry. I'm so tired.
I'm going to talk to you soon. She's crispy and delightful, and sometimes soft.
The other day, I ate a club sandwich and I wasn't even a member.
I mean, yeah. That's generally the case.
No.
So,
You hit one really square on the head in that, you know, I grew up in a small town, I was a weird kid, and if you listen back to episode 20, when I was being interviewed, all my friends watched, like, Mask and G.I. Joe and all this shit on Saturday mornings, and I had the TV on Channel 4.
Wait, watch Mask on Saturday. Oh my god, Mask was a fucking animated show.
It was the one with the cars that would blah, 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 but I didn't watch it. Here's my point. I would watch Great Chefs of the Northeast, Great Chefs of the Southwest, Justin Wilson.
You're a weird kid.
Dude, you have no idea. You have no idea how weird I was. But yes. So, like, it makes sense then that, like, all right, my culinary proclivities didn't necessarily line up with my parents. That's fine. But my wife, who I cooked her a steak at 2 weeks into dating, I'm like, no, I want to make her world freaking crazy. So, that's where I went with it.
That's fair. That's how that happens. So my soul sandwich.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what is yours then?
All right. So, like, my favorite sandwich, which we already discussed prior to this podcast, is a BLT.
Ah, great, right?
That's my favorite sandwich. It's perfect in all ways.
Would agree. Can confirm.
But my soul sandwich, like who I am as a sandwich, I am a 3-foot party hero. Half Italian, half American, infinite variability. It's like you can get mayo, you can get oil, you can get vinegar, you can get some mustard, you can get, like, mayo. It's, like, fine. It's infinitely hospitable.
Dogs playing with cats. Everything's crazy.
What's happening? Or did your cats get involved?
No, that's the Ghostbusters reference. Cats marrying dogs. It's absolute anarchy.
Oh, this is generally my life.
Yeah, right. No, and I mean...
How are you involved right now in exactly what's happening? Because I literally have 2 cats trying to be involved and then a dog that's staring at me. I'm like, I don't... Yeah.
Here's the thing. I have 3 kids. They're all sleeping. It's the best time of the day. When they're not awake, it's awesome.
That's why I haven't had one yet.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy, buddy. Trust me. Yes. That is a wise move.
I have 2 nephews, man, and they're amazing, and I love the shit out of them. And maybe one day, I maybe want to have a baby, but, like, you know what's really good about babies?
What?
Enjoying them and then handing them back to their parents.
Exactly. It's like shaking up a beer and handing it right back to the owner, not having to open it.
It's like, dude, I love my fucking nephew Jason. He is so fun. I took him to the Bronx Zoo. I spent so much money on that kid to take him to the Bronx Zoo because they were having a dinosaur safari.
Oh, nice.
And you saw my fucking Christmas decorations.
It is fantastic. All of it.
Like, you know that I like dinosaurs. But it's weird to be a 30-ish-year-old woman that's like, I just want to go on a dinosaur safari by myself.
And I don't think that's weird. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, you think that that's awesome, but you're also a fucking grown-up that lives in... Where do you live? New Jersey? Is that what you said?
In the middle of Pennsylvania.
In Pennsylvania. Yeah, there you go. Where in Pennsylvania do you live?
Central PA.
Yeah, that's not an answer. What's, like, your city?
Like Bloomsburg. Yeah, I was going to say, that's not a city either. Bloomsburg, it's the only town in Pennsylvania, actually.
That's a lie, because, like, I grew up going to, Gouldsboro for my summers.
Oh, yeah. But for real, they have posts coming into town that say Bloomsburg is the only, quote, town in Pennsylvania. Like, that's it.
Fascinating.
Fascinating indeed. You should come. We'll hang out. We'll do things.
Yeah, I mean, I got a spot up there. Yes, let's do it.
There you go.
I go to Eagle Lake every summer.
Oh, nice.
So
Okay.
let's do it.
Yeah. So without further ado, let's ask you
I feel like we haven't actually discussed anything of purpose,
Dude,
but I'm okay with it.
First of all, we discussed so much of purpose. Second of all, I'm going to shake your hand verbally here on the air right now and say congratulations, Chef Tarran Hatton, on the longest episode of the Coarse Grind Podcast ever.
Oh my god, that's a lie.
5+ years, episode 114 has just breached 2 hours. It is the longest episode.
Way.
Look at your clock, dude. I can't lie.
Is that including our time talking beforehand?
Oh my god. No, not at all.
Oh. That's really cute.
It is really awesome.
We're gonna have the best fucking co-podcast ever.
Check this out. Your rival that was just beaten, I want to put this out there to you because I think you'll appreciate this, was Chef Betty Fraser from season 2 of Top Chef, back episode 15. She came in at an hour 40. You have blown by her by leaps and bounds, but that's how long it took to beat that record. You did it.
I crushed it.
You did. You totally crushed it. You totally crushed it.
Oh, making tea and what was my phrase earlier?
Jesus, your roommate's dying. You're making tea. The cats are killing you. All of this is happening. I'm very impressed. I'm not gonna lie. It's very impressive.
That's what happens when you live in Brooklyn. You need to learn how to multitask.
Multitasking at its core. So
you broke something. It's fine.
Exactly. Without further ado, then, the last question of the interview, the simplest and yet the most complex. Chef Tarran Hatton, what is food to you in a single word?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That's 2. See what I did there?
Please, I'm an atheist. That doesn't actually work.
I'm an agnostic. Same. I'm right there with you.
Food's life, man. Food's everything.
I love it.
There you go. Food in a single word is everything.
Everything. Love it.
It's literally everything. Our fucking society, I mean, we didn't really get into it because we got distracted by a lot of fucking shit. But like, at the end of the day, food is literally everything. Our entire fucking civilization, as we know it, is based off of food.
No, I'd agree. Hands down. And I think that's the most all-inclusive answer and most beautiful, simplistic, one-term answer possible. So, man, I mean, listen, when I watched the episode, I'm like, oh, I should reach out. I think she'll be interesting. Little did I know that 2 BFFs would develop in a mere span of an evening. But I swear to God, I really mean this. And, you know, life is short, but sweet for certain. And I always think, like, look, when I appreciate a human being, I want to tell him, Tarran, you're phenomenal, dude. Like, I really enjoyed myself.
let's do this. Do you want to make a co-podcast? Is that what's happening right now?
I think we should probably have a little follow-up meeting, maybe discuss, do a little creative action, bring some of my people into the call, and we'll get on that. But I've toyed with the idea of doing something else, and I've never felt like leaning into it. And tonight, honestly, I'll say, after talking to you for the better part of 4 hours, I'm like, yeah. Oh, I could hang out with her. So I think that's a strong move. That's a strong move.
It's kind of like that weird, that scene in Step Brothers. So, like, do we just become best friends?
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I just felt this entire night. I was like,
We have so much room for activities. We have so many things we could do.
Should we just become best friends? Yep.
Should we just become best friends right now?
Yep.
Do you just want to hang out? Do you just want to do things? Do you?
Yep.
I'm like completely blanking right now, but hold on. Give me 1 second, and I'll be able to be a functioning human being. Seafood Scranton.
Seafood Scranton.
You know what I'm talking about.
Coopers. Yes.
Coopers.
Dude, I grew up in Honesdale.
Like, do you want to go to Coopers?
I grew up right next to Coopers when I grew up. Like, Honesdale and Scranton are really, really close. So the office in general is a joke to me. I'm like, yes, that's where I grew up. Yes, I get it.
So basically I grew up spending all of my summers, like months, like all of the summer months at Eagle Lake.
Right on.
So I don't know if, like, you're aware of the weirdness that is Bill's. But yeah, like Bill's and the Twisty Freeze and, like, the strangeness of that entire parking lot that's become this one man's literal legacy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, cool, I'm just gonna leave my weird trailer in the woods.
Yeah, that's what pretty much brings about a legacy for you around these here parts, so.
yeah, it's so strange. My grandfather. So, oh my god, like, it all ties back. So, basically, my grandfather, aka the husband of my grandmother who just passed.
Right.
He literally saw a fucking ad in, like, a penny saver, right?
Yeah.
Around, like, 1985. It's like 2 years before I was born. And it was like, hey, buy some property in fucking upcoming Pennsylvania real estate. And so he did it. He was like, yeah, why not? Let's, like, get a fucking family home for my weird-ass kids.
Yep. That's all it takes, man.
And so we got it on the ground floor and, like, got a beautiful-ass plot.
Nice. Nice.
$200, and then, like, little did he know his entire family for 4 generations would then spend all of their fucking summers at the same place.
And yet, when they do, that's freaking phenomenal, man. That's kind of what you hope for down deep, I think.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's weird. They don't really have that anymore. There's no more, like, Dirty Dancing era, like...
Oh, don't. Jesus Christ, my wife will hear that. She'll be down here. She'll be like, did somebody say Dirty Dancing? Oh.
Somebody tell me, please, get me in a corner.
Man. Well, hey, listen.
My capris.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, man. Chef Tarran, thank you so much for spending the evening with me, man. I cannot appreciate what you've done here tonight enough.
I'm really glad that you both appreciate me as a chef. And as someone to share an evening with.
Dude, I seriously, you could pitch the chopped shit out the window at this point. Like, I'm like, dude, I would hang out with her. Full stop, no question. She's awesome. But, so, let's just talk real quick.
Me. I'm just good to drink with.
Yeah, exactly. Bliss Bomb, February 2020, correct?
Yep.
Stay tuned to that. Her name is Chef. You gotta be sure to check out where, your cake gets beat the fuck up? Isn't that what happened?
I just honestly, check out Her Name is Chef because it's an incredible documentary about what it is to be a woman chef in today's industry.
And it's not easy, man. 5 years of this, I can tell you, there is an uphill climb for the one gender, and it's not ours. It's
100%.
yours.
It stars some incredible chefs. 100% worth looking at when it comes out.
Yep.
My only contribution is that I made a giant rainbow cake for Elizabeth Faulkner to beat up with a katana. So
nice.
Yeah, if you like watching something get beat up with a sword, definitely watch it. If you like supporting women, definitely watch it.
Love that. Yeah, and I mean, anything else to drop tonight? I mean, Bliss Bomb, her name is Chef.
Bliss Bomb's coming.
Yep.
Follow me. I mean, honestly, if you want to follow me on Instagram.
All her Insta, yep. She's out there on Insta as Chef Tarran or...
No, I'm actually...
Hang on, I'm looking right now.
It's Terror Bear. It's...
Terror Bear, yep.
Terror Bear.
T-A-H-R, yep.
T-A-H-R Bear.
And she's out there on the Facebook, Tarran Hatton. And on the LinkedIn, I found her tonight. So, again, if you're looking for somebody to do some formal pastry stuff, get her on there, man.
Hit me up.
Yeah.
You want a burger? I can do that, too.
Yeah. It's custom bun. But, man, Tarran, I really appreciate it. I'm just flattered on so many fronts that you not only did the show, but,
this
just
has been so fun.
Smashed it like you did tonight. So thank you again, dear ladies and gentlemen. This has been episode number 114 of the Coarse Grind Podcast. With me again. Yeah, what? With me again.
And episode number 0 of the Hatton.
That's right. Hatton Rosler Podcast is coming up.
Combo.
Oh, man. Our guest this evening, again, Chef Tarran Hatton. Our producer, as always, has been the lovely, voluptuous Johnny Leland Robinson, a.k.a. the Reverend Johnny Lamoria. Be sure to check out my recent episode of his podcast Till Your Ears Bleed, part of Cinematic Pig's Feet, as we dissect modern Russian cinema. That was against my will. That was his idea. But go ahead, check it out. Have fun at my suffering. And again, next episode will be number 115. Stay tuned.
Retour sur sans fin, tout recommencer.